Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Scoville.com. Try Scoville.com's hot sauce subscription box, where you pick the heat, flavor, and food pairings you want in your box. Get 1 or 3 bottles delivered to your door each month. Choose your heat level, flavor profile, and food pairings. And it's completely customizable each month. You no longer have to worry about getting sauces you don't like or won't use. Scoville.com specially curates each month's box based on your personal preferences. And best of all, High Desert Sauce Co., Butterfly Bakery of Vermont, and Irish Spike's unique hot sauces are all available at Scoville.com.
Hey, don't fucking interrupt me when I'm saying my trademark line.
Maybe we will, just to mess with you.
You ruined it. I was going to do that. Now I can't.
Oh, you still can.
Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers. I'm Spike.
I'm Zac.
And I'm Claire.
And today we're talking to Mike Palmatier from Rising Smoke Sauceworks. Hey, Mike.
How you guys doing today?
Hey, Mike.
Welcome to the shit show.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
So, Mike, tell us your history with spicy foods, hot sauce, and how that led you to start Rising Smoke.
All right. Well, I grew up in the Northeast, upstate New York. So my father was a Frank's Red Hot user. So that was my first experience with hot sauce. Trying to be a tough guy with Dad growing up. I had to use Frank's, put hot sauce on my food. Probably got to teenage years until I really experienced what was out there. There was a hot sauce store in a mall in upstate New York, and they had thousands of hot sauces. I'm not sure if it was a Pepper Palace, if Pepper Palace was even around back then, but I picked up a couple bottles, brought them home. And one of them was called Endorphin Rush. I don't know if you guys had experience with that. Still out there.
Yeah.
It's still out there today. For somebody that only had Frank's and Tabasco, when I put a toothpick in a bottle of Endorphin Rush and put it on my tongue, my throat literally closed up. I'm like, holy crap, I can't breathe. This is blowing my head off. Like, I'm in love. I'm like, this is so cool. I never knew this stuff existed. And from there, I wanted to find what else was out there. As soon as I got my first apartment, I was growing hot peppers. Chiliplants.com is a greenhouse up in New Jersey, and they ship pepper plants all over the country. So I've been buying from them for years. So every year it was growing the new hottest plant, the different varieties. So I've probably grown, just about everything under the sun by now. But it was trying to grow all different stuff, different flavors. I'd say it's probably been 14 years now. I moved from New York to North Carolina. Like any good transplant Southern boy, I had to buy a smoker. So started smoking barbecue, taking peppers out of the garden, kind of like the chocolate peanut butter with Reese's Pieces. Let me throw some peppers on the smoker, see what that does. Whole different flavor profile, totally mellows out the heat, brings out a whole different balance. So I started messing around with sauces, with smoked peppers, smoked ingredients. Probably did that for a couple years, making stuff for friends, family, neighbors, handing stuff out because I couldn't eat as much as I was making. And probably everybody has got the same story. People telling you should sell it, you should try it, you got to get this stuff out there. I had a pretty intense day job, so I figured let me dip my toes in the water, let me try it, and I'll set myself up with a little retirement job. I'll grow it slowly, and after 20 years, maybe it'll be something to make income in my retirement. 4 years later, I'm doing it full time. Kind of blew up a little quicker than I thought, which is a blessing. But we're 6 years in now. Been doing this full time for about 2 years, and just loving life. I love hot sauce. I love peppers. Even though I make hot sauce, I've got probably, I'd say 400 or 500 bottles of everybody else's stuff, including you guys. I just, after I come out with a recipe, I can't stand using my own sauce again. I taste it, make sure it's right. And then when I'm done with it, like, I want nothing to do with it. I want somebody else's. So I guess that brought me to today.
Awesome.
Nice. And what do you feel like makes a great hot sauce?
Man, it's a great question. Balance. I mean, it's got to have heat. It's got to have, I mean, everybody says you got to have flavor with heat. I mean, it's the trademark. Everybody's, hey, ours is flavor with heat. You never heard that one before. But it's got to have a balance of, a sweet note, perhaps a salty note, a citrus, a sour. It's just got to hit what you're looking for, especially for that meal. I mean, there's certain sauces I use they're my go-tos for certain kind of meals, but it's got to have a well-rounded flavor for sure.
I mean, Mike is definitely the guy to ask that question to because he has more award-winning sauces than anybody I know.
Nice.
Awesome.
Got one yesterday, actually.
Oh, really?
The Artisan Flavor Awards came out yesterday, so our Asian sauce synergy picked up another award. So we're at 89 now. Once I get to 100,
wow.
I quit. 100 awards.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
It's a lot.
Thank you.
It's a lot. 100%. Well, he kind of answered this already, but what is your favorite sauce from your lineup? And are there any sauces that you tried to bring to market that you just couldn't get worked out?
My favorite sauces are Reaper sauce all in. It's not nearly as hot as most other Reaper sauces out there. It's got a well-rounded flavor. It's one of my smokier sauces, which obviously I like to smoke. It's got a lot of flavor to it. It's a close toss-up between that and Synergy. Synergy is our Asian sauce. I got to give more credit to my wife for that one. I mean, she had a heavy influence in that one. It's just got that umami flavor. It's got a lot of stuff going on in that one. So we go to those two quite a bit.
Did I sample the Synergy because I sampled all your sauces when we were at Fiery Foods, but
we had it there. Yeah, we had 15 products. So, the Synergy was there. We had all 15 out there.
Awesome. I liked all of them. They were really good. So that was nice. I tried so many. I burnt myself out the day that I was sampling. Too many.
Yeah.
That's not hard to do at that show.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff there.
As far as something
go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say, and that's probably why Steve's shows you do better at because there are less makers there.
Yeah, less makers, less blow your head off kind of stuff. I mean, depends on where your booth is at some of these shows. You can have a great show or a horrible show just based on, if you're right behind. Zach knows well. I've learned through the years where are these companies and where am I going to request my booth for next year? Because if you're right behind somebody that's getting their face blown off, they're going to walk right by your booth and head to the restroom. They're not even going to stop and try your stuff.
Yeah.
So, sorry, go ahead. There was a second part to that question.
I think you had asked if there was anything I hadn't brought to market. I've got a thick book of recipes that I haven't brought out yet. I had one that I did bring out. It's the only product I've dropped since we started. It was a product called Training Wheels, and I love the name and I love the label. I'll bring it back someday in a different form. It was a tricycle with a basket on the front with peppers in the basket. It was my I was trying to be in an entry-level sauce, low heat, verde sauce with, bell pepper, a little bit of roasted jalapeno. I already have a low heat verde sauce, fire starter, has a lot more flavor, a lot more going on. So having two verdes at the low end didn't work very well. Training Wheels, I made 40 cases first run, and that was it. Never came back. But my wife's kind of reserving that label for, she wants to come out with a hatch sauce. So,
that's a good idea.
Yeah, we're kind of playing around with that, keeping that label and keeping that graphic, and maybe come out with a hatch sauce.
There you go.
I love hatch chilies. They're great.
So much flavor.
Yeah.
And so oftentimes they're ones I in my opinion that you can't mix them well with other peppers because that flavor gets muted so quickly.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah. Flavor Balance Heat is brought to you by High Desert Sauce Co. out of Tucson, Arizona. Zac is the owner and creative mind behind High Desert Sauce Co.'s hot sauces. He says, at High Desert Sauce Co. we make sauces that we love. The balance of bold heat and fresh flavor is the heart of our philosophy. We keep it simple by using the best ingredients we can get our hands on and letting the natural flavors run the show. High Desert Sauce Co. Just the good stuff. Visit High Desert at hdsauceco.com. All right, so you probably are familiar with this question, desert island hot sauce. So we were on a ship, it sank, you're the only survivor, and all the food from the ship keeps washing ashore. So you got a lot of different cuisines you can eat, but there was only one pallet of hot sauce. It can't be one of yours. What would you want it to be? And you can give us one or two. I kind of knew this question was coming, and I struggle with it. There are very few, and because I do a lot of shows, and I see a lot of you guys at the shows, so I'm always trading. There are very few sauces I keep in the lineup because I always want to try the new ones, the new makers, new sauces. One that I keep going back to, Mikey V's got a few garlic sauces. So his garlic scorpion, I actually brought that here today. Oh, that's awesome.
Mikey V's garlic scorpion is one that I do a few shows with Mikey a year, and I always make sure to grab a few bottles of that when I'm around. That is a sauce that goes well on everything, so that'd probably be one I wouldn't mind staying on a desert island with.
Awesome.
So Mike, you do your own production and bottling,
No.
or do you work? No,
I have a co-packer.
You have a co-packer.
I thought you did your own.
So I when I started the company, I had a very intense day job where I traveled probably 45 weeks a year, Monday to Friday. So I figured I can be in the kitchen on the weekends, or I could come home and pack up the truck and do a show and sell on the weekends. So it was a no-brainer. I mean, I could be in the kitchen cooking, but nobody would ever knew I existed. So I hit the road. I got a co-packer and started selling that way. Eventually, maybe someday I would bring it back in-house, but life is still pretty busy, so I'm pretty comfortable where we're at right now.
Well,
Mike,
and if you've got go ahead, Zac.
Claire.
No, I was just going to say, if you have a good relationship with a co-packer, if it's working well, it's don't you don't need to fuck with it.
It is. It's working very well. Pretty quick turnaround. Very good relationship. Only a couple hours down the road. It's
nice. That's great.
And my passion, I love creating recipes, but truly my passion's not cooking huge kettles of hot sauce day after day. So I'd rather be on the road selling this stuff or just doing whatever I can. So I'll probably stay the co-packer route.
Yeah.
I was going to basically say the same thing, like having to manufacture and ship and wholesale and shows. It takes a toll.
It certainly does.
My genius ass thought Illinois was in June, so I was thinking, all right, I go to Illinois, I come home for a month, then I go to Portland. No. Illinois is in July. So I go to Illinois, I come home for a week, and then I get back in the vehicle and drive to Portland.
Have you done Portland before?
No, man, it's my first time doing a Seaberry show. So
Portland's a blast. Portland is nuts. It's nonstop, wall-to-wall people, a lot of fun. It's hot. Bring a lot of water. You're out there in the parking lot. It is hot. A lot of people have gone down, even vendors have gone down just from heat exhaustion out there. So it's
Wow.
But it's a fun show. It's a great time.
I live in the desert. I'm not worried about it.
That's true. That's true.
Portland heat's not going to bother you, but it'll bother me. Yeah, we're there. This is our first show to ever do, and it'll be in Portland this year.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah. Spike's been anti-Hot Sauce Expo for the last 6 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought, if I wanted to do a show, it would be like a car show, Comic-Con, somewhere where I would be the only sauce to be sold. And we've done a few of those. They've done very well. So this will be a first try. We'll see if it's worth it. So
we do a mixture. I do probably 35 shows a year, and we do a lot of where you're the only guy on the block, which is great. You're getting every dollar from everybody that likes something spicy. But again, there's a percentage. And so many people go to that car show and don't like spicy, so you're not selling to those customers.
Yeah.
So when you go to like a hot sauce expo, 100% of the people walk through that door like spicy, but you're not going to sell 4 or 5 bottles. You're going to sell 1 or 2 because they want to buy from 20 makers. So,
yes.
But it's also getting your bottle in the hands of people that like your stuff. Do you get them a business card? Do you get repeat internet orders all year long from that part of the country? So, I mean, there's a give and take. You may do less that weekend, but pick up more throughout the year.
Yeah, and I hope that we represent well in Seattle. We represent well in Eugene. Portland has been a little bit harder. I mean, but Portland also has a lot of hot sauces there, so that's kind of makes sense. So I figure being there is going to help a lot. So at least I hope so.
Well, we just hired our first outside sales person and to do events and demos and all of that stuff. So now we're actually actively seeking out events to do, and brand new. He just started a week ago, so we're just got to figure out. And which I think he listens to the show. So hi, Stefan. Hi,
Stefan.
I know Peter listens, but our other sales guy. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to kind of be a whole new world for us to be regularly doing events again.
So you don't do many events, Claire?
No, I don't really like it. Just personally, it's fine. I'm good at it, and I tend to do well at them. But the entire time I'm standing there, I'm thinking of all the other things I could be doing, and so it just is because I've always been the one to do it. It didn't make a lot of sense. So now we're really realizing like we need to be doing more of these things. We need to be doing more demos. We need to be doing more events. We need to be getting out there in person more often, and it needs to not be me. So we hired somebody.
There you go. Hope that works well for you.
Me too.
So my whole thing is like I'm not going to trust people with my money.
Well,
it's not.
He had actually been working for us for a little while in our kitchen. So he's got a background. I know him.
It's different. So. I wouldn't hire anybody off the street to go do my markets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and I've got another guy who's used to do markets with me, or still does do markets with me. So I'm already kind of used to having somebody else do markets. So we'll see. There'll be some training, and we're going to do our first demo this Thursday, just like our local co-op. See how it goes.
Yeah, if it's somebody that's great. For me, it's less about trusting somebody with my money. It'd be the face of my brand.
Yeah.
So that person that walks up to that farmer's market, if I hired this guy off the street and he's a real jerk, then they're going to be like, I'm not buying from that company ever again. And, that's where I'm most nervous about.
And I've done lots of demos and events where the person standing at the booth is just kind of standing there and ready to take money. And you're like, that's not going to work. So.
Yeah.
I always tell my wife, mostly because we often run late and because she's running late. But
I feel like that's the other way around, Spike.
No, I am insanely, like, it makes me crazy if I'm late. I have to be on time or it makes me nuts. My wife will admit freely that she has no concept of time. But anyway, it's a show, and I like to get to anything, any kind of farmer's market, any kind of event early so that I can kind of get quiet for a few minutes, because then I'm putting on a show, and I wear a bright red suit,
Right.
So.
Yeah, speaking of that bright red suit, you're probably not going to want to wear that in Portland, man.
We'll see how the weather is. Maybe I'll wear shorts with it.
Get a short sleeves version.
There you go.
That'd be awesome.
I could too.
Yeah. So.
And red high top Converse.
Oh yeah, you know what? I might have to get some red high top Converse to go with it.
My dad used to go to the symphony every week when I was a kid, and he would wear a tuxedo and bright red high top Converse. That was his uniform to go to the symphony. Yeah.
If I don't wear my red suit, people get annoyed. They ask me, "Where's the red suit? Where's the red? Why aren't you wearing the red suit?" So
I've never seen you perform. I'll have to see that sometime.
Yeah, right. This is gonna be. I'm gonna have to step away from my booth just to see Spike's spiel with 40 fucking products.
Yeah, we're bringing all 40.
I was going to say, I'm sorry we're not going to Portland this year, but that would be fun to see.
I figured if I'm going to do it, we're doing it to see if it works. I'm going to go down, swinging and bring all of them. My staff isn't happy with me about it, but I figured, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right.
There you go.
Hey, Spike, you want to come out to Illinois and help me since I don't have any?
If I could, I definitely would. I'd have a blast. I had a hard time, genuinely had a hard time not trying to get you to let me help. There
wasn't any customers for you to fucking outserve.
I know.
It is what it is, man. Fucking butt.
You had prime real estate at that show for sure.
Well, I picked that booth because I was right next to the Bravado Boys, and they usually draw people.
Yeah.
You know, but then they backed out the last minute, and they stuck that podcast at the end, and they put their fucking big old banner up, and it's just like...
Just block that whole aisle.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. Lesson learned. Next year, I'll be next to TD's Brew and Barbecue or whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
Like right next door, so I'll get his off.
Took us a couple years to get our location. I like our spot right on the corner, kind of right when the entrances.
Nice.
That's what I'm working up to. I want a corner spot, you know.
It's one of the few shows that doesn't kill you for a corner. Sometimes they hit you with a huge expense to get a corner booth. I think Albuquerque, maybe another $50-$100 for a corner, and it's well worth it.
100%. 100%.
I'm Claire George. I own Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. We make hot sauce, mustard, cookies, and granola, and 100% of our products are made with Vermont ingredients. The thing that I hear most often from people is that my hot sauce tastes like the peppers that are in it. We do really simple recipes that don't get too crazy and nitpicky, just to really accentuate the flavor of the peppers that are in there. The unique thing about our hot sauces is how much we feature the farm and the relationship with the farm and really bring the terroir of Vermont to our hot sauces. I am pretty sure I am the #1 purchaser of Vermont-grown chili peppers. I would love it if there would be a legitimate pepper market in Vermont where people would know Vermont for its peppers. We're all better for supporting each other. You know, and I think that part really shows itself with the collaborations that I do with the other businesses and the other farms, that I love working together and coming up with new ideas and presenting each other with new challenges. And I think overall that's the attitude here. And I absolutely love it because that's my attitude. I try to live my life with love. The ingredients that I use, I would say that my values are reflected in that, that I use ingredients that, again, feel good, feel loving, feel supportive. The relationship with the farmer was how it all began. If I changed the reason for it being, if I went out and bought some commodity peppers, you know, it might not be as good.
You can find Butterfly Bakery of Vermont hot sauce, mustard, granola, and cookies at butterflybakeryvt.com.
So, Spike wants Claire and I to collaborate with him on this, what he's calling a $100 hot sauce. And this $100 hot sauce is a sauce that warrants a $100 price tag for the ingredients, the processes, and the packaging. What are your thoughts, or do you have any insight on any three of those things as to what would warrant that price tag on a product? Don't say no truffles. We're not fuck truffles.
Yeah, no truffles.
We're not dealing with no truffles.
Please, no truffles.
That's been done to death at this point, I believe. From a process standpoint, I would almost say maybe go down the fermentation road. You're talking a lot more time, a lot more in depth. You've got my mind turning at 1,000,000 miles an hour right now, because I've seen $100 hot sauce that don't warrant it on any of those three levels.
Yep. That's why we're doing this.
We're doing habanero vinegars in a fancy bottle, and I want $100. Doesn't make sense. So, I like the fermentation route. Ingredient wise, I'm kind of kick that back to you. I'm excited to see what you three guys come up with. I mean, if you guys come up with something unique and something actually worthy of that price tag, I'll gladly shell out $100 for a bottle of hot sauce. The price tag doesn't scare me. It's just, it's got to be worth it. And I think if anybody's going to pull it off, I think you guys would.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
I think we're, not to give anything away, but I think we're starting to zero in on where we're going with it a little bit, which we need to, because we're hoping to have it out by about around this time next year, right, guys?
Are we?
I didn't know what we said.
I thought we were making it.
Fall that's what. No, we're making it this time. Yeah, we're making it this time next year. That's right.
No, I thought we said fall of 25.
Fall of 25. Oh, I thought we said
I
spring.
don't know.
Well, I guess. Well, if you guys want to go out to the farm and pick peppers, then you have to
I
be
guess
here in
so.
the fall.
It has to be in the fall.
But
No,
I can go
I
to the
don't
farm
wanna
and pick.
I don't want to pick no fucking peppers.
You know what? Our farms
don't
are
like-
awesome.
I understand. I hear you, and I understand picking peppers is way different than doing yard work, but I fucking hate doing yard work, so...
I mean,
My only
Zach,
suggestion, I would say fire roast everything, because I know Zach loves to put that time in.
Luckily, Claire's facility is not set up for that, so that will not be a fucking option.
I mean, it could be. It could be.
No.
maybe by then.
We have an outdoor space that used to be indoor, so it's got a cement like foundation, and we've often thought about putting like a tumble roaster, whatever those are
Nice.
called, one of those out there. So
Awesome.
Oh,
we could do that.
No.
You're not going to come and visit if I do that.
I forbid you to get a tumble. Actually, you know what? Honestly, if you had a tumble roaster, it wouldn't be that bad. Right now, working out of the shared kitchen space, I have to do it all on a 24-inch charbroiler because they won't let me buy my own charbroiler and put it in there. So,
All I would say is if you fire roast it, I'll give you $101.
Oh, there you go. A tip for
Specifically,
Zach.
fire roasts it.
Exactly.
I will lick every fucking pepper before.
$102 sold.
So we have to make sure we put that on the ingredients, and it's fine. Zach's saliva.
I guess that's the additional step beyond the blood, sweat, and tears.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Blood, sweat, tears, and spit.
a little bit of DNA.
I would say, and this is not set in stone. We had talked about spring because it's the cheaper time to go, but also we had talked a little bit about maybe going to the New York show, not to be there, but just to go and hang out with Claire. And then visiting.
I got to buy my hotel.
And then visiting Vermont on that trip would actually not be a bad idea. And that's late September, I think. Is that about the right time? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's September 27th, something like that. And yes, that's the...
Okay. Mentally wrap
next year.
Next year?
Yeah.
This year, next year?
No, not this year.
Well, this year, I mean, you're not going to just come to New York this year?
Oh, I don't know. It's still up in the air. We've had so many changes with different stuff, switching over to plastic and all the stuff. I just don't know where we're at for a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll be at New York this year. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there just as a customer. I like going and shaking hands and hanging out with people and visiting our customers too. We've got a lot of accounts in New York City, so it's a good opportunity.
Nice.
How old are you, Mike?
Just turned 50 in January.
I'm older than you.
Yeah, well, it's not how old you are, it's how old you feel. So I'm actually 87.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I think I'm the young one here.
I don't know, Claire.
Yeah. How old are you, Zach? Yeah. What is that noise?
I think that's my dishwasher. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
42.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
54.
Right,
Actually, no, I'm
40.
40. I'm 43. Never mind. I forget my age. So there
What
you
year
go.
were you
Zach,
born?
80. So
Oh, yeah, 81.
yeah.
You guys are the same age as my wife. She was born in 81.
I thought your wife seemed a little young.
I'm a lucky man.
I don't mean that in a bad way when I met her. I was, okay. She looks really young for being 43, honestly. I thought she was a lot younger. I'm not even going to lie. Honestly, it's kind of...
I keep telling her that.
Smart man.
Yeah.
Lucky guy. All right. What's the next? Where are we at?
Hot takes.
Oh, yeah. Hot takes. So hot take is, everybody else kind of is on board with something, but you're not. So hot sauce related, some people don't like thin sauces or whatever. What's your hot takes in the business?
So I'm not really on board with anything that is trendy. I know black garlic a couple years ago, everybody in the world came out with a black garlic sauce. I think then it was a pickle sauce. Everybody's going left. I tend to go right. I like the creativity, but I don't want to be the 15th person in line coming out with a product. So there's nothing specific that I could say, I'm against. Most of my sauces were kind of on the thin side when I came out. I've thickened them through the years, put in more mash, less vinegar. But there's a spot for thin sauce in my lineup too. Depends on the use. But I guess I'm just anti-trendy. You can tell, old man in a black shirt. I'm not really a trendsetter.
So there's not a truffle in your lineup then?
There will never be a truffle in my lineup. We can stamp that right now.
I think the only way go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say, Mike and I are collaborating on a truffle sauce right now. Don't let him do it.
It's different, though. We have licked all the truffles before we process.
Double
and
truffle.
fire roast them.
There you go, fire roasted truffle. I think I feel the same way, but I think it would be for me and the way my brain works. I would go, okay, I need to do this in a different way than everybody else and make it work better or different or whatever. I kind of see those as challenges, but Then again, we're coming out with a fire roasted tomato and black garlic in a couple of weeks, and that's about as lame, straightforward as.
But it's not trendy anymore.
That's true. Yeah, it's true.
That's the difference.
Been there, done that.
Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces. I'm Spike, the owner and executive saucier. Our sauces are handmade in the Pacific Northwest using the best possible ingredient. We believe that hot sauce equates to a balance of sensational heat coupled with a robust and complex flavor profile. Live your hottest life with Irish Spikes. Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces are available at saucecult.com.
Hot sauce show and tell.
Yeah.
So did you bring a sauce, Mike?
I've got my Mikey V's garlic scorpion right
Can you
here.
move it over just a little bit? Yeah, there we go. Oh, yeah, garlic scorpion.
Nice.
Just don't ask this old man to read ingredients. I don't have my reading glasses.
You're good.
Yeah, I actually often will take a picture of the sauce that I bring ahead of time, and then I just look at my screen
Smart.
when I'm reading it.
Wow, why don't I do that?
Dude, you've never had to do that with a bottle of sauce? Like, I got to do that shit all the time. I'm like, what the fuck?
No, I always have to
Taking a
change my
picture,
glasses.
I hand it to my wife. I'm like, what is in this bottle?
Yeah, I have it. I'm doing that right now.
What about you, Zach? What'd you bring?
No, what'd you bring, Claire?
I brought Heartbeat Camp Sauce. I've super been enjoying this last few weeks. And this one it's got mix of peppers like bell peppers, onions, jalapenos, scotch bonnets. It's got a little olive oil, so it's a little creamy. It's got a little chipotles and adobo, some brown sugar, maple syrup. No, it doesn't have brown sugar. My brain just read that wrong. But yeah, it's just a little smokiness, little sweetness, little creaminess. Just really, really been enjoying it.
Awesome. I brought Lemon Reaper Creeper from Colorful Colorado Creations.
Nice.
Yeah, I really like this. So I'm a big fan of lemon. We've got 2 lemon pepper hot sauces, so I'm a big fan of lemon hot sauces, and he did a great job on this. So really
Nice.
liking it.
I met those guys in Albuquerque. They've got a great lineup.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, Derek's good people.
Man, that Colorado Red of his, I could down a bottle of that in a day easily. So good. He gave me the hot one though, and that one I'm not as big a fan of. It's right here. I've had it a few times, but that sauce is so good. It just seems totally unbalanced with all that heat. But I mean, if you love all that heat, then you're going the right place. So,
What about you, Zach?
I'm shouting out Mr. Mike.
Nice.
Some Rising Smoke Fiesta Caliente. One of my personal favorite sauces.
That one looks familiar.
Yeah. I know the guy. I know the guy that makes it. He's kind of an asshole.
Yeah. Don't hold that against them.
the best kind of asshole.
Absolutely.
I'm not touching that one.
Or at least wash your hands.
Yeah, there you go.
So what's next for you and Rising Smoke, and where do you see the company going from here? What's your end game? Are you trying to get like grocery? Or are you trying to stay away from grocery?
So I am probably the opposite of most people you talk to. I've spent a lot of years in manufacturing. I've dealt with multi-million-dollar budgets and hundreds and thousands of employees, and my life at this point is going 100% the opposite direction. I want to keep Rising Smoke manageable. It's me and my wife right now. My son helps out when he can. I'm not looking for Walmart shelves. We're in a 30-store grocery chain in North Carolina where we've got a couple of distributors. I do probably 90% of my wholesale myself. I like it that way. I'm not looking for hiring a bunch of employees and HR issues and dealing with everything. I'm the old guy that's been past all that. This is my ride off into the sunset and enjoy my second career. So keep coming out with new products, keep pushing the envelope and ingenuity, but I'm not looking to blow it up much bigger than what it is. I like the freedom it gives me now. We still work our butt off every day, but I can choose to hit pause and, go pick up my grandkids and do whatever today and, push the work off till tomorrow. And I kind of like that freedom. So I think we're going to keep Rising Smoke on the smaller side.
That's going to be hard to do. They're really good sauces. You have to work hard to not do that.
Just don't tell anybody.
I get it, man. I get it wholeheartedly. It's like I could like take this to a whole nother level, but at the same time, I don't want to.
And I've heard the stories.
It's just, yeah.
I know people that have blown their hot sauce company up and got so many distributors and paid those slotting fees for the grocery stores and hired all those employees. And next thing you know, you've got 100 times the stress and you're pretty much making the same amount of money as you were before at the end of the day. So I'm kind of okay.
And then if your product's not moving in that grocery store, don't they make you buy back?
Yeah.
Like, what is 6 months at the Best Buy date or whatever?
Yep.
Fuck all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not worth it to me.
So, Mike, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, I guess I've tried all of your products from not all of them, but I've tried products from each of you guys. So I'm kind of curious, what do you guys enjoy about running your own hot sauce company? And maybe what don't you enjoy? What's the worst part of your job?
Spike, you want to go first?
Sure. I enjoy creating the sauces. I enjoy dealing with people. I think I'm the opposite of Zac in that way. I really do like talking about sauce with people. And I hate producing sauce. I hate being on the line doing it. I used to love it when I first started. And I worked as a cook for years and I burnt out. And so that part of it, I just don't want to do. But I don't like to cook anymore at all. I just like to make sauce. So, so everything else I really do enjoy. And if in any other, we've got a great crew that makes our sauce for us, but in any other, instance, I would be like you. I probably would co-pack and just push my sauce.
Obviously, not that I don't like doing shows. Like there's Zac and then there's Market Zac. You know what I mean? It's two totally different people. I prefer to be in the kitchen, behind the scenes, not dealing with that. Honestly, I just want to be in my bubble. I want to make my fucking sauce, and I want it to sell itself. But obviously, I'll do shows if I have to.
And you're a ham deep down. You really are. Everybody knows you. You are. Everybody knows who Zac is.
Yeah, I know, but I like my bubble. I like not being in the public eye.
I like creating things, and so for a long time that was doing production. And so it was really hard for me to step back from production when that was not the best path for the company. But then I discovered that I'm creating a lot of other things when I'm running a company. And so, I get the opportunity to figure things out and drive things forward and make mistakes and learn from them. And so there's a lot of creation in what I get to do. And I really enjoyed that. In terms of what I don't like, there are headaches, but I'm self-employed from basically as soon as I graduated college. I'm not the easiest person to be the boss of. So I'm grateful for the people who have tried. And so I cannot imagine at this point in my life going and working for somebody else. And if I did, I'd have to do it at a high enough level that I could still basically be in charge, even if I was, there was still somebody above me. And so I can't leave my company until I'm at a high enough level that I could transfer to a high level at another company.
Yeah, I too do not make a good employee.
I make a great employee. It is just not easy to be my boss. Like I am not compliant.
That's how I am.
So,
Yeah.
but I'm great at it. Like, I'm great at doing stuff.
My problem as an employee is, like, if I went and got a job painting houses tomorrow, okay, the first 30 days I'd go in, I'd kick ass, I'd like take names, I'd show them what's up. I'm like, this is what I can fucking do. And then when they don't like compensate me for what I could do, I just go ahead and give them what they pay me. And I know it's fucked up. I should take pride and blah, blah, blah. Why am I going to make this dude money when I can do it myself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just how I am. I know it's probably the wrong mentality to have, but I don't give a fuck.
Probably why we're all self-employed.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a long conversation at the farmers market just yesterday with one of our other local businesses. I was part of the farmers market for like 14 years, and we were chatting. And I often think back at how I used to work for them. I worked for them for like 6 months, and yeah, we just butted heads, and it didn't go well. And finally, it was a mutual, me moving on. But now we get along fantastic, and I'm curious to ask them about how it was having me work for them.
I'm the same way. Bosses love me and hate me. I work really hard. Yeah. I overdo it. But then when I think they're wrong, I'll often just do my own thing. And my last boss, my wife and my last boss were talking one day, and she said something about me always being right. And he says, what I hate about him being right is that he's always actually right. And she goes, I know. And I'm just.
My husband talks about me like, I don't need to be right, but when I know I'm right, I will not let go.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah. If I'm wrong, and it's so unsatisfying when I'm wrong, because if I realize I'm wrong, I'm like, oh yeah, you're totally right. Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good.
That's what. And so I'm the same way. And you don't get any credit for admitting you're wrong. They at least on my end, they say you always think you're right, and it's like, no, I often admit I'm wrong. It's just I don't get credit for that.
So speaking of like always being right, Claire.
Yeah. I mean, yes. Yeah. What? Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. So Mike and I came across a newer sauce company that uses bone broth in their product.
Oh
wow. Okay.
Wouldn't that then fall under the class of USDA because it's technically an animal product?
Not necessarily.
It was legit like the fourth ingredient. It was pretty high up there on the list.
Well, so not necessarily. I don't know if they were making their own bone broth. Yes.
No,
but if they don't, it's what?
They use Swanson's.
Okay. So using somebody else's bone broth, I'm not sure if that would necessarily qualify because it's not.
It's already processed.
So it's already processed. You're not actually dealing with the animal part of it. So there was years ago in our old kitchen, we actually had a company rent our space to make bone broth using our kettles. And there was a bunch of confusion right when they started because about whether or not they needed to have a USDA person in the kitchen at the same time. And the health department was saying, no, you don't, because broth is not considered an animal product. And then, of course, yes, it is. I mean, they're putting like whole chickens into the kettles. But I think that's why. I think that broth is not considered an animal product, but if you're making the broth, it is.
So with that in mind,
Maybe.
Yeah, what if it was like egg? So if it's liquid egg,
egg is
I know, that's why I said it.
Yeah, egg is like, and I'm gonna get this wrong. I know I'm gonna get it wrong, but basically, like a whole egg is USDA, a broken egg is FDA.
Oh.
A liquid egg is there's I don't know. It feels like 27 different classes of eggs, and they all count differently for who it is. Eggs are like the best example, and people always bring them up. I mean, about how fucked up our food management system is.
I wonder about mayo.
Mayo is FDA for sure.
Really?
100%.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's broken eggs.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I've had a recipe that I did in the restaurant business that had mayo in it, and I haven't done it because I just didn't want to deal with any of the bullshit.
Well, it's already processed. It's then an ingredient. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, we get milk for caramel, goat's milk, and it's raw, so it's USDA. And then as soon as we cook it, it becomes FDA. So we actually have like in our space, it's like this corner of the room is USDA and the rest of it is FDA. And when the inspector shows up, they literally don't care about the section that has nothing to do with them. They only care about that corner or everything but that corner.
Interesting.
And I remember wondering about that because, you know, in baking, you can use milk. You can go to the store and buy milk and you can cook it or get it from your distributor. And that's FDA. And so I was wondering kind of what is the threshold between USDA and FDA there. And at least in Vermont, the milk handling laws are such that, basically anybody that has anything to do with milk is USDA. Except, and then there's this very small set of exceptions that allow you to be FDA. So
Interesting.
So can I go back to the beginning and say, no, I'm never leaving my co-packer. I'm not.
Yeah, man, it's a thing.
It's a minefield.
Thing.
Yeah.
But
All
I know
right.
if I have a question, I know who to call. Claire seems to be pretty knowledgeable.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love learning the regulations.
Sometimes during the podcast, we lose Claire for a while. It's true.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions for us, Mike?
Let's make it a simple one. What's your favorite pepper?
I like the red jalapeno. I love it. It's great.
Classic.
Yeah. More cracks, the better.
Zach?
I think I'm going to go like red Savita habanero or, Scotch bonnet.
Ooh, Scotch bonnet. I like a habanero is fine for me, but and I think that's my favorite, just because it's the easiest to work with and it's a good medium hot. But I do also like Ghost, so
Nice.
How about you, Mike? What's your favorite pepper?
Yeah.
Mine is a red fatale.
Oh,
You don't see them very usually you see yellow, but I grow the red every year and it's got a natural smoky flavor to it and it's right up my alley. So I
you would
love it.
probably like chiltepines.
I got to try it.
Oh, hey, we got to hear this. How would you think?
They're really good. Really good. That natural smokiness is really cool. I was also thinking how different the flavor is from the Duchess Mystery Pepper and how they wouldn't seem like they would go together. But I do think that a citrus like a yuzu would unite them.
So that's a yes and no.
Yeah.
Wait, how is that a yes and no? It sounds like a yes, right?
Well, you think they would. You don't know for sure.
Well, I mean, I haven't tried,
Yeah.
but it tastes like they would in my head.
I agree.
Have you ever had a chiltepine, Mike?
I've had a sauce with them in it. They're very small, right?
Yeah, they're like the ahi chiripitas or whatever.
I want to
They're
say
red
I
and they're-
grew them one year, several years ago. And it was a nightmare trying to harvest and get enough peppers to make anything out of it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the process itself wasn't very fun for me. It's like you need 1 million peppers to get a bottle of sauce.
Yeah.
Well, Brian Am said that he would send some, that he's growing some, and he would send some fresh ones.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fresh ones, I don't think I've had them dried. I've only had them fresh, and they were good. But that's just, they were sent to a buddy of mine from Mexico or New Mexico, I think. So
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm excited, and I feel like they should be part of the sauce.
there we go. All right, so
Okay, so real quick, since this is $100 hot sauce question, we can get them from someplace like Magic Plant, dirt cheap, or I can get them locally, expensive as fuck.
Well, but Magic Plant would be mash, right?
No, it's dry. They're dried.
Oh, dried. Oh, you mean right, the ones you sent.
They're not going to be fresh. Anything I get is going to be dehydrated because
Can we get them fresh and then freeze them?
I have no idea. I can ask somebody, but I don't know
That's
if it's
okay.
going to be a thing.
that would definitely be a part of $100 hot sauce.
Right?
That's a lot of tiny peppers to lick, Zach.
Yeah, there you go.
In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and eat like a raw Carolina Reaper and then just sweat over a pile of chiltepines.
That makes sense.
That sounds like
Just a bathtub of chiltepines? Is that
Yeah.
like...
And I'm just going to keep eating Reapers and excrete all my body.
I'm seeing like a calendar centerfold here.
Yeah,
Zach
I
in a
know.
bathtub.
I was going to say that sounded sounded more like a fantasy than anything else, Zach.
Well, it's getting hot in here.
I'm not a raw pepper guy, honestly. They fuck my stomach up too much, but I do it from time to time. So, but yeah, I can ask the local grower if I can get them fresh. And awesome. How many pounds? Like what?
Well, if we're doing a micro pot of sauces, like 28-ish pounds total. So depending on what our ratio,
50 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. Like, let's make sure we have enough to do whatever it is we need to do.
Yeah, we got to test it too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wing it, man. What the fuck? What's wrong with you guys?
That's what I do. No, we're going to do so much research, and it's going to take thousands of hours of our time.
I mean, it's going to take a lot of my time because my ass doesn't fly, so I got to drive my happy ass to Vermont.
Yeah, that's so far. It'll be great, though.
It's fine.
So, Mike, when we were at the Fiery Foods in Albuquerque, I did an interview with you, and none of the audio showed up for anything.
Outstanding.
But I've got these questions, a few of the questions from that interview as our speed round. So this is actually going to be good because I couldn't air any of that. All right, you ready?
Sure.
You win the lottery. What's the first piece of equipment you get for your company?
A truck. I need a new delivery truck, something I can do festivals in and not keep cramming stuff in the back of my pickup.
I'd love to have that.
That's a no-brainer.
If you had to give up the hot sauce business but could do anything else, what would you do?
Probably a male stripper, I think, but it would take a lot of diet and exercise.
With chili peppers.
With chili peppers. I'd probably be a catalog model in a bathtub of hot peppers.
There you go.
If I had to give up a hot sauce business, I'd probably just retire and become a golf pro.
Ah, there you go. If you could go back in time and change one thing about your business, what would it be?
Well, something I actually had to change was the name. I started as Up and Smoke Sauceworks. I did a quick Google search, novice business owner, check trademark, no trademarks out there. So small business owner, I didn't have any money. I'm like, I'll trademark later. Let's just put an alert out there, see what happens. Created social media, got some labels, and next thing you know, somebody filed a trademark. And go look at it, was Paramount Studios.
Oh, shit.
Turns out Cheech and Chong came out with a hot sauce several years ago, Up and Smoke hot sauce. So had to quickly reverse. The lawyer's like, yeah, you can take them on. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm not taking on Paramount Studios. So
nope.
we switched from Up and Smoke Sauceworks to Rising Smoke Sauceworks. So we already kind of pivoted a few years ago.
That makes perfect sense. If you could collaborate with any other hot sauce company, who would it be?
Zac. Zac and I have talked several times. We kicked some ideas around. I think we probably got something we'll come out with eventually.
Yeah. I am waiting on my packaging line to come because doing it the way I'm doing it right now fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah, no, I understand. But Zac and I kind of see a finished product the same way. So I think we come up with something pretty good.
I think you're right. If you had to pare down to only one sauce, which one would it be?
It'd have to be Synergy. That's the best seller at every event we do. People love the flavor, and it's not killer heat. It's something everybody could do. It'd break my heart, but it'd have to be that one.
Yeah, I have. For me, my best seller is not my favorite sauce, but I'd have to go with it, and it would kill me, man. Luckily, it's at least your favorite sauce.
My best seller is not even my product, technically.
Oh, yeah.
What is that one?
The Ghost of Saffron.
Great sauce, though.
Yeah, it is. I just had it yesterday. If your brand were a cave person, would it be a hunter or a gatherer, and why?
I'd say a hunter. We're trying to push the limit, trying to find something new, kind of out there, trying to find something to create a new space in the industry instead of kind of seeing what's out there and gathering it up.
I like it. Describe your most popular sauce without saying a single ingredient or heat level.
Umami, sweet, savory, tangy. I'd probably leave it there. Yeah, it is.
That covers it right there. All right, if Pepto-Bismol asked you to make a hot sauce, what ingredient would you start with?
Probably vinegar. Vinegar kills me.
There you go. I don't think anybody said that, oddly enough.
It's not a pepper for me. Peppers hit certain people, but a vinegar heavy sauce just kind of hits me where the Pepto-Bismol needs to be. So
Yeah.
I'd probably make a vinegar heavy sauce.
Awesome. That's it. We're all done.
All right. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Mike. I really appreciate it. It's really good to get a chance to just chat with you for a while.
Well, thank you guys for having me on. It's a pleasure.
Hey, Mike, I'm not just saying this. This is one of the better episodes that we've done.
Yeah.
Straightforward, straight to the point. You say, I'm not a man. I'm a man of few words, and I don't like talking. But this is the kind of episode that I want to do every week.
There you go. I agree.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. You guys make it easy. The questions and the talking back and forth, you make it like we're just hanging around the fireplace talking to each other. So I really enjoyed it.
This has been a Spike Mind Media production.